All right, everyone, how are we doing? Monday morning. Yes, he's back. The king of the Celtic way is back. Undoubtedly the king. Tony, how are you? Sorry, I should have said the king. Dear, oh dear, what am I thinking?
There's only one king, and it's Kenny Dalglish. It's certainly
Correct.
not me. I've said this before. Jose Mourinho said he was a special one. Jurgen Klopp said he was a normal one. I think I'm more Jurgen Klopp on that one. Just a normal one. But thank you for that wonderful welcome back. Hello, everybody. Good to be back.
God, I'm talking about the monarchy at 1 minute past 10 on Monday morning. Not a great start to the week. How was your time off? Because I mean, it's nice to get a wee break now and again from the full intense Celtic spectrum.
Yeah, I said to you there just before we came up on air, I totally unplugged for the Matrix. I just took some real downtime, so I was kind of aware of what was going on, but not too much because I just threw my phone in a drawer as per the wife's instructions, and don't log on to the computer. So it was the first time I'd kind of logged on in 10 days or something. And I switched it on this morning. So yeah, but I am aware of what's going on. So we'll be fine. But it was good quiet time. When you've got 5 dogs, it's military precision. You need if you want to go away and stuff like that, and somebody to watch them. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But no, it's good to be back talking Celtic and talking about what we love.
Yeah, indeed. There's a few things to chat about as well. A wee kind of bit of chat about transfers and the way I think things are heading. And I was at the game on Friday night as well against Ayr United. I'll be honest, I've probably tempted you all in with a poor headline because it says what we learned from Ayr United draw. I don't know if there was a great deal, to be honest. I don't know if you saw the game, Tony. If you missed it, you missed very little. It was a first game of pre-season, summed up. It was the most obvious first game of pre-season for Celtic I've ever seen. It was largely a fringe team. I think we made not 11 but 12 subs throughout the match. And we finished the game with a barely recognisable team, plus like O and Yang. And yeah, I don't know if this will get me in trouble. I didn't actually stay till full time. I left just before full time because it was just really, really poor. But it's only pre-season. Yes,
a Celtic X1, as it was known when you were writing it down, the scoreline. Ayr United 1, Celtic X1, one of the ones. Yeah, it was pretty bog standard pre-season fare, wasn't it? With no new signings to light up Somerset Park, and all the kind of players. Some of the players still on holiday and making their way back at the time. So yeah, it's pretty much what I expected, And I think having read some of the kind of headline stuff or headline grabbers, I think people were praising Bosun Lawal, weren't they, for his kind of performance. So I guess it's maybe, we spoke about this before, possible breakout season for him. Can he make himself part of that first team, get in squads, get on benches, come on and get valuable minutes? That remains to be seen. So that's I think that's an intriguing one. A couple of other players showed up well, but I guess from your own enthusiasm or lack of, then I guess it was one of them. But I might have the joys of Queen's Park on Wednesday night, Hamish, with a Celtic X1 or maybe a better Celtic X1, but I'm waiting to hear back about that. So we'll look forward to that. We'll just get a wee kind of football fix, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I was kind of asking myself during the match, why did I bother going to a pre-season friendly? Because they're just not for me. There's a reason many fans don't bother with them. Having said that, it was a huge Celtic support. We had both ends at Somerset Park. I believe the crowd was somewhere near 10,000. Ayr's new stand actually looked quite nice. I think Somerset Park's had a bit of a facelift as a result of it. Just in terms of Bosun Lawal, I mean, it's a kind of weird one because with his pedigree and the way that he played last season and the kind of hopes we have for him, I think you would hope that he would stand out against a championship team. Having said that, I thought he really did. I think he came on at half time and immediately just made a difference. And I've not actually seen a great deal of him. I knew that he was a big guy, a physical presence. What surprised me about his performance on Friday is that he can play as well. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips, but there's a number of runs he had where his feet were his feet were like Jota or someone like that. I mean, he was taking the ball past people. He looked powerful. He looked quick. And I don't want to go over the top based on, you know, as I say, a nothing game against a lower league Scottish opposition. But I do want to see more of him in pre-season. And just based off that little bit, I think he's someone who could actually offer us something this season.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't, you can't be too hyperbolic about him, as you say, based on that sample size. He's played a full season in the low leagues in England, and I don't want to go over the top because the team that he played for get relegated. Granted, he was their best player. I don't know how high a bar that is or how high a compliment that is, but, you know, he's obviously got something, right? So the Celtic fans are intrigued by that. They want to see more of him. And as you say, if he can't show up in a game like that, then you would have worries. So it's good that Celtic fans are speaking positively about him. So yeah, let's see what he can bring. And I think Brendan Rodgers maybe thinks he can bring something to the table and give him a run out during pre-season and see what he can do. But I guess, you know, it's tentative steps, isn't it? He's gone down, had a full season playing professional football.
Yep.
You know, so obviously you have to improve, regardless of the level you're playing at. You have to improve because you're playing a full season. Yeah, Fleetwood get relegated. That's fair enough. Well, but it remains to be seen what skill set he brings. But just looking at him, he's a big, powerful, imposing unit. It certainly looks that way. And as you say, he's got some quick feet. And from the clips that you see, you think, okay, there's a nub of something there worth persevering with, and somebody who can, as I say, force his way into match day squads and then do the next thing, start getting valuable minutes in the first team. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about him going down south on loan and kind of for a season and learning his trade and all that stuff, I know he didn't have as much of an impact as this guy, but I'm thinking, you know, Callum McGregor, our best player from the last 6 or 7 years, he went to League One, I think, as well.
He did, not Swanky,
was it League One or League Two?
League One, I think it wasn't it?
Was it League One? I know Callum McGregor had like a huge breakout season with them, you know, made headlines more than Lowell did at Fleetwood, but like it's happened before that someone can go down to that level. I don't think people were thinking at that stage Callum McGregor was a future Celtic captain. Basically what I'm saying is I want to see more from Lowell in pre-season, and probably against better opposition. I want to see him in those games in the States to see what he's got to offer.
And also as well, I think most people are, Plunge McNuggets coming in with a comment. I think we accept that he's a midfielder, isn't he? And not a centre-back.
That's a big thing. They brought him on in midfield because there was an opportunity. I think Naropski went off injured, and I was thinking, well, Lowell come on, and they didn't. They brought on Agbear instead. Yeah.
So I think everybody accepts that for Bosun Lowell to move forward and progress, he's going to be a midfielder.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see because he's big enough, isn't he? And you think if the tools are there, he could be a commanding presence in the midfield, add a wee bit of steel, a bit of physicality, which is something that Celtic lacks. So I'm all for that. I'm all for him playing possibly, which is his natural position. Still to find that out, but I think certainly a midfield role is what I'd be earmarking for Bosun Lowell, because when I saw him playing at the back, I wasn't too convinced at that. So I'm quite willing to persevere with him, as I say, in the midfield and see him more in pre-season and make judgments based upon better opposition. But for him to challenge himself to get into those squads and get those minutes behind his belt and you know, really say, right, this is the season I want to make an impact.
Yeah. Les D saying that he's seen some progress in Lowell. I think that's fair enough. Helen reckons he's going to be an asset. It was hard to see the game really at that level at Somerset Park. One player who I did think looked kind of lively in the first half was Nicholas Kuhn. I don't know if people will agree with that. Again, as I say, it's kind of difficult to see. I just felt he was on the ball quite a lot, showed some nice wee touches, didn't do anything really of note, but I kind of looked at him and went, right, okay, he looks eager to impress. So again, hopefully we see some more of him in pre-season. Yeah. Apart from that, Tony, I'm kind of struggling, to be honest. I'd be worried a little bit that Naropski's injured again. He just doesn't seem to be getting any luck. Lagerbielke's injured as well. Did you see that? I just think those two those two are having a bit of a disastrous time at the club.
Yeah, it's just in terms of that, it's just kind of lurching from one kind of crisis to another with both of them, isn't it? And you can understand why Celtic are maybe looking to shut them out and just let them start afresh and let Celtic start afresh. Yet, in terms of no signings, I'm still clinging on to what the manager says, that there's no panic, there's no rush. But ideally, Hamish, you want them in for the USA tour.
Do you think that's going to happen? You'd have
I'm
doubts,
reading between
surely.
the lines with them. Yeah. Well, I'm reading between the lines what the manager's saying, and I think he seems to think that will happen. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to press the panic button just yet. What is it? A couple of weeks or 10 days or something? Well, a couple of weeks till we play our first game, 21st of July, isn't it? Early hours of the morning, 12:30. So
probably about 10 days till we go out, I would reckon.
Yeah. So it's still enough time to get some business done and crank it up a bit. And I think just in terms of, for the supporters as well, give them some kind of, something to cling on to moving forward. Bringing in a goalkeeper, but we know they've made an approach for Adam Ida. Seemingly they've went back in to talk some, money with Bernardo as well. So, I would like to think that, in a kind of hop, skip and jump, that those three players would certainly be on board by the start of the American tour. If not, I would be a wee bit more worried then. But, the manager said they could add 9 players in already, but it's qualities after. So, if that's the case, then back that up. Celtic, the manager and the board, back that statement up and bring in that quality that Celtic require. And if it's Adam Ida and Paulo Bernardo and a quality goalkeeper that you want, then bring them in. I think show your ambition in that sense.
It's all well and good waiting for quality, but I think quality can be signed at the start of windows as well. We've seen that in the past. CCV, Jota, Kyogo, quality players are signed at the start of windows. Christopher, this is a flavour of how people are feeling, Tony, just in case you will probably have missed it over the last couple of weeks. Morning, guys. I don't know about you. I'm getting annoyed that Celtic still have not signed any players. It's getting ridiculous that we have so much money in the bank yet not spent any of it. It's very, very frustrating. I think, reading between the lines, Adam Ida's going to be a Celtic player. I would hope that it's done quickly, as you say, for the team going out to the United States. I can't be bothered with that dragging on all summer. No. We don't need that. We need Adam Ida and pay the money. Sounds like it's going to be about £6 million. I think the majority of us would think that's a bit of a no-brainer for Adam Ida.
I said before when he left to go back to Norwich on loan, and I said this is how this played out. He'd go back to his loan, parent club on loan. Celtic would ask the question, low ball it, but be prepared to pay 6 or 7 million for him. Adam Ida would say, I'd like to go there, which he has done. He's indicated that. And and Norwich will say, fine, we'll end up taking somewhere between 6 and 7 million quid. Now, whether you think he's worth that or not, that's irrelevant. That's what they want. And Celtic are the same. They want top dollar for their players. So you can't get annoyed at another club asking for top dollar for their players. Who up until he came to Celtic was a £3 million player. Well, there you go. And doubled in price. I bet he's all missed that, has doubled in price since scoring antics with Celtic. So I'm like you. I'm very confident that Adam Ida will be a Celtic player. But I just don't want it to drag on any longer than necessary. The low ball offer I was quite annoyed at that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can understand why the Celtic did that, to see if Norwich would bite. But and I think he's somebody that we've spoken about at great length and we feel that could do a great job. But in terms of, I think this USA tour is important in terms of, bonding, and you get players in and you get them assimilated.
Yeah, I agree.
And because it could make such a difference. And you know where I'm going with that. I think there's something brewing in my head about maybe writing something about that. I think a Celtic team did it in 1966, didn't they? Lo and behold, they had the season of their life. So, but I think things like this are important, Hamish, right? So if you've got your eyes on quality, you've got to bring them in for this tour. and let them get to know everybody, especially someone like a goalkeeper, right? And I would like to think that Celtic are maybe going to ramp it up in the next 10 days or so before they fly out. You'd hope that, again, the board's got for him for letting everybody down, letting the current manager down, in particular in his first spell. So I'm still optimistic. I'm not throwing things about the room just yet, but maybe that's just me. I'm a kind of glass half full kind of guy, so until such times when it's glass half empty.
I was the same last summer. People who were kind of watching me at that stage will know I was kind of very calm. I felt we'd get the quality in, but the window just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
And we ended up not getting the quality in, and I really, really don't want a repeat of that at all. No. So I think Ida will come in. From the sounds of things, I'm hearing more and more about a Scandinavian goalkeeper. Now that's going to be Peter Vindal Jensen, you would think. The only other one could be Kasper Schmeichel, who Rodgers was asked about, strangely enough, at Somerset Park after the game. So I think we're going to be looking at Peter Vindal Jensen from what I'm hearing. And it seems like that's who the club have wanted from the start of the summer.
Very early,
based off the report. I mean, that was I think that was about 4 or 5 weeks ago we first heard that name. So get him in. It's a huge decision. I'm hearing good things about him, hearing bad things about him. Heard he had a stormer at Ibrox. I heard he really struggled against Liverpool in the Europa League. Who knows what to believe? If Rodgers wants him, and that's who the scouting team have identified, get it done, get him settled in, get him playing pre-season games. Because the thing we forget, or maybe don't forget, if he doesn't make the trip to the US or play in those matches, he's going to be making his debut in a competitive game, because we've not got any more pre-season games after Man City or Chelsea, whatever the last one is.
Yeah, and I think the manager alluded to a goalkeeper the other night, didn't he? And said, been lots of names mentioned, we just want a good one. I think that was a wee bit tongue-in-cheek, because I think he was kind of like thinking there's something probably bubbling away on that, so he was being a wee bit, a wee bit tentative, but also a wee bit kind of trying to sell you, right, we're on it, we're on top of it. So that's what I'm taking from that. But like you, I want these guys in, by the weekend at the latest, Hamish, right?
It's a big week.
I think this week in terms of doing business, Celtic is crucial, before they fly out. And so I'm thinking maybe the tail end of this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Celtic will announce business being done. And some of that business might be the ones that were named there. Adam Ida, possibly Bernardo, and possibly Peter Vindal Jensen. And if that's the goalkeeper that Celtic have targeted, and he was one of the early ones, so maybe they have been doing their due diligence on that. And you know what? People can make up their mind. They can say things about him from clips. I'll watch him in the flesh if it is him, and we'll all make up our mind on that. But like you, I don't want to see him playing his first match for Celtic in a competitive game against Kilmarnock on the opening day, the flag unfurling day. Just don't want that to happen, because it's got the recipe for disaster, isn't it? In terms of just not knowing who you're playing with and your teammates and just all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd rather he was in now, or certainly to the end of the week, or whoever that goalkeeper is, in before the end of this week, and then giving them a chance to just sort of play games against quality opposition in America, and then get really integrated along with their teammates.
Plunge saying Jensen lost 10 goals against Liverpool. Joe Hart lost 8 goals against Atletico Madrid, and we still quite liked him at the end of his time. So it's all to do with, we don't know what the defending was like in those games. Listen, I'll be honest, I don't know about Peter Vindal Jensen. I'll need to speak to someone and find out more about him. I don't know if he's good.
I spoke to Thomas Cherney about him, and he said he fits the mould for what Brendan Rodgers wants from his goalkeeper. He's good with his feet.
So he can play.
He's good with his feet, and he's a good shot stopper. He's 6'4", I believe, isn't he? Or he's certainly 6+. He didn't say too much about him coming for cross balls and stuff, which was kind of okay, right? But I'm thinking at that kind of height, you'd like to think he might add that height dimension for a goalkeeper as well, and be slightly better than Joe Hart at coming for cross balls and stuff like that. But certainly Thomas Tierney.
Does he pull off brilliant saves? Because that's a big thing for me. Can he pull off saves that make you go, wow?
I think he's a good shot stopper, good reflex. Goalkeeper Thomas Tierney said. So I'm going with another goalkeeper's take on it so far. Again, we'll make our own mind if this is the guy that's signed, and you can pick holes in any kind of goalkeeper and say they shipped as many goals here and as many goals there. That goalkeepers will always ship goals, but again, excuse me, if he comes in, then we'll all make our own mind up upon him. And I think everybody's just we're all still burnt by Vasilis Barkas, aren't we? In terms of a goalkeeper, we're still emotionally scarred by that, and I think it's it's unfair on other Celtic goalkeepers because they will bear the brunt of the ire if something happens and they make a mistake and stuff. And I think everybody's still they've got that Barkas hangover that if we're going to spend money on somebody, then they better be good type thing.
But it was also a really strange period, wasn't it, to sign a goalkeeper and to sign any kind of player from overseas. They were coming to a country, well, the whole world was, but Scotland was in a strange place at that stage with quarantine and not being able to spend normal time with teammates and stuff like that. I'm not saying Barkas would have been a success had we signed him in normal times. Maybe he would have failed regardless, but I do think that there was certainly a part of it was the strange circumstances he came into. And as I've said before, generally over the last 20 years, our goalkeeping signings have been pretty good. Barkas is probably the only, in terms of first choice goalkeepers, he's the only one you'd look at and go, he wasn't very good. Boric was brilliant. Forster was great. Craig Gordon was really good for the club. Joe Hart was good. I don't know if I've missed any first choice keepers. But in general, the club know what they're doing when they're signing.
Yeah, when it's came to goalkeepers, they've been pretty well stocked at bringing guys in, haven't they? And they've had success. Barkas being the obvious, failure in that, and he was a failure. And then as you say, there was circumstances that led to that. It just kind of spiraled and blew out of control in the end up for Barkas, didn't it? So, as I say, I think Celtic supporters still get kind of flashbacks to that, and but when Hart came in, I think there was still people saying that he wouldn't do a job either, but turned out that he did. So I think if Peter Vindal Jensen's the guy coming in, then he's got to get right behind him from day one. He's a goalkeeper. He will concede goals. He will make mistakes, but as long as he proves himself to be the real deal moving forward, and we wait on that one, but I think there's more legs in that one, Hamish, in terms of a goalkeeper.
Yeah. A couple of people just comment on the fact that if we do sign, Ida and Bernardo, we're still weaker than last season as we're missing Hart. And I think someone else said even if we sign a goalkeeper, you're then just back at where you were last season. I think we're all very much of the opinion that even if we do get these signings over the line, and I think certainly Ida and Bernardo seem relatively close. I would hope they'd be announced in the next week. I think the goalkeeper, from what I'm hearing, might not be miles away either. I think we still all feel that there's still, a number of other positions the club need to push on. The fact there's not really been a left back linked with us this summer, I think is a bit of a surprise. Because we need a left back in there. We obviously need a centre back. Darragh O'Shea was mentioned while you were away. Burnley,
back. Yeah, Burnley.
So there's names being mentioned.
Yeah, listen, left back, centre back, and a midfielder. I still think we need Hamish. In addition to hopefully Ida and Bernardo and a goalkeeper. So I'm a bit miffed that we haven't been linked with a left back, but again, hoping that there's some irons in the fire there and they produce something. But it was the old thing. Remember when Celtic signed Jota and Cameron Vickers, and we were told we signed those guys and we were standing still. It just depends what way you look at it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean I disagree that it's standing still because they're not our players at the moment, Ida and Bernardo. So signing them would be huge. But I also get the point that technically from last season you've not actually improved the squad. You've just signed those players.
Yeah, I see both sides of that argument, of course, but I'd still rather have them than not have them.
Oh yeah,
let's put it that way. So and then you can move on to other areas. And Brendan Rodgers said on Friday, didn't he, after their game, he knows the areas that need strengthened. Left back surely has to be, one of your top priorities as well after your goalkeeper and striker. Signing, I think, and a centre back. So if we can see that, then I'm trusting that the manager sees that too.
Yeah, I mean Kobayashi was started at left back on Friday, and it was Mitchell Frame came on at half time, didn't he?
Yep.
I must say, Mitchell Frame. I'm not sure he's going to be the answer to our left back issues this season. Just based off what I saw, I think he's got a bit to go, a bit of development yet before he can be kind of spoken about as a first team player. So we definitely need a left back.
Yeah, but could be another one who could do with going on loan to Scottish Premiership club and getting a season behind them, and then coming back like Bosun Lawal has just done and see what you've got. It's okay to play in fits and flashes. He played against Feyenoord in the Champions League, didn't he? And everybody said he did particularly well. But I want these guys to go out and play a full season of professional football, rack up those games, and then come back after a season and show that you've progressed, show that you can be trusted to go into the first team. But yeah, certainly Mitchell Frame is in the frame for me to go to a Scottish Premiership club and and perform all season, see what he's got.
Someone's mentioned Owen Beck again. Charles, you're getting us going with Owen Beck chat. It's been a while. He's been mooted apparently. It was Connor asking about the left backs, whether that's a cause for concern. Steve McGrory, if you think for 1 minute I'll be watching a reserve Celtic team play Queen's Park in a meaningless friendly on my laptop while there's a Euro semi on, you'd be absolutely right. I think that just about sums it up. See, to be fair, and I don't know if we really want to go into this, but have you seen much of the Euro knockouts games? I've been very underwhelmed by the quality. Like they're just the team's still attack. The wingers still run at defenders. It's just pass. It put you.
Austria, Turkey's been the best one, and then Holland. The closing stages of that weren't too bad because Turkey had to go for it. So.
And Spain for me have been the two teams I've really enjoyed watching. Other than that, it's been disappointing. Yeah,
Holland are grown into the tournament, but you just hope they grow some more. Certainly for the next game and peak. But we shall see what happens. But yeah, it's been. I think the teams that have surprised you the most have been the ones that have attacked, like Austria, Turkey, Georgia, Albania, that have had a right go. And you look at these countries and you think to yourself, you couldn't name 5 players that play in their national team.
Yeah.
But they've surprised you big time with their with the way they're going about their business. But yeah, the first game in the group stages were great, and it fell apart after that, didn't it? The tournament as a whole.
Kind of the opposite of the World Cup a couple of years ago, because it started really poorly and ended up as probably one of the best World Cups any of us can remember. So there's still time, 3 matches to go in the tournament. But honestly, I feel like I watch some of the games and I go, do I even like football anymore? Because some of them are just so honestly like the fact wingers don't take on their defenders anymore. See, to be fair, I think Scottish football you do still get that. I'd actually probably rather watch Scottish football games than some of these Euros games because there's a bit of intensity to the matches.
I always speak highly of Scottish football, right? What we lack in technique, it's a raw product. It's not been tainted by outside money, real outside money, and it's honest. And what we produce, we accept that we're not the greatest, but for raw endeavour and passion, give me that any day, Hamish, and teams just having a go. Most of the time, certainly when you're watching Celtic, they have a go and they try and play football in the best possible way. But a lot of other teams I've seen in recent years, Kilmarnock were excellent last season. Dundee coming back up and finishing in the top 6, stuff like that. So you we accept where we are. People say, well, league's rank rotten. I totally go against that. I don't think it is. I think teams are improving all the time, and that makes Celtic need to improve. So, yeah, I just think, it depends what you want out of your football. But for passion and blood and thunder, you can't beat Scottish football. And players doing what you say, like wingers taking guys on, strikers scoring, and none of this pass stuff. But I guess Celtic were guilty of that earlier in the season under Brendan Rodgers, and but they got their act together and started putting teams to the sword near the end of the season, culminating in the wonderful 5-0 Kilmarnock win, which everything came together to clinch the title that night.
And it wasn't that long ago, and it's not that long until we'll face Killie again in our opening match. Just before we head, a big thanks to our sponsors, MPH Boilers and Viessmann. If you're looking for a winning heating solution for your home, MPH Boilers are your go-to team. They're an award-winning family-run business. They serve all of mainland Scotland, and they bring the best in boiler installations and servicing. They've partnered with Viessmann, known for their top-notch German-engineered boilers, and they ensure your home stays warm and efficient all year round. Visit www.mphboilers.co.uk for more details. Next time I speak to you on Wednesday, Tony, I'll be back down under. I'm leaving.
Away.
I'm away off to the airport just after this video, so we'll be back to properly into things. Ryan's away enjoying himself as well, isn't he? So he'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Indeed he is. Cool, well, safe flight home, and pity I didn't see you when you were around, but hey, that's what it is. We'll meet one day, but there you have it. But yeah, safe flight, fella, and I shall speak to you on Wednesday,
Yeah, we'll chat to you, and you'll have company tomorrow in some shape or form.
Oh yeah, I think Kevin will be on. Yeah, either Kevin or Joe, I would imagine they'll be on tomorrow. Don't worry about that, we'll sort that out. So it should be good fun, but enjoyed that. It's good to be back. We'll see what happens. Celtic will sign players, won't they?
Yeah. Maybe a wee signing or two by the time I'm next on Wednesday. Just about. Right, thanks everyone for tuning in and making this an enjoyable video. As Tony says, he'll be back tomorrow. I'll speak